You are live, my friend.
Welcome to WagerTalk Today, the gold standard of sports betting shows where we talk the talk and walk the walk. It is Wednesday, middle of the week. We're diving deep into college football and MLB. Ralph Michaels has UTEP versus Sam Houston and Tulsa versus East Carolina, and he's got his favorite NFL Week 7 trends and angles. It's more like Mythbusters. We're going to dispel some myths about back-to-backs this week. Ross the Boss Benjamin is back, baby. You guys have been asking. He's finally feeling better. Ross is back. He's going to join us for Blue Jays Mariners, North Carolina, and Cal, and then another episode of This Line Makes No Sense. It's time to get sharp, guys. Let's get into it. You guys know what to do. Hit the like button. Algorithm boost, you guys know. And see, we got a comment. I won't ever miss Contender Series again. Thank you for the breakdown. Absolutely. We hit our $5 Tuesday play, and it was one of the best live betting nights of Contender Series. I think all said and done, we went 9-1 last night, and there's only 6 fights. Good Lord. It was an insanely good night. Sadly, that was the last night of Contender Series King. But join us for the UFC show. We're gonna be printing tickets on that one too. All right, let's bring in Ralph and his pen, and we're gonna talk some college football. Ralph, you were saying you love. Wait, how many days was it? 49 days in a row now.
We are in a stretch of 49 straight days of football. That goes until the Wednesday prior to Thanksgiving. And then we have that great Thanksgiving week with all the Friday games. You know, Andy, we talked about this before we got on the air. Why the heck are we talking about a game where the teams are combined 0-11 against FBS teams? Because it's on TV.
I mean, it's insane. UTEP versus Sam Houston. Ralph, neither team can score. I mean, you mentioned 0-11. They're combined 1-11. I'm calling this, Ralph, the resistible force versus the movable object. These two teams are struggling. Somebody's got to win tonight. UTEP, how'd you like to be the line maker in this one? Who are we going to make favorite? UTEP -2. How are we going to do an over-under on two teams that can't score? Put it at 47.5 and let the people decide. What's your breakdown on this game?
Well, I like UTEP actually. You know, UTEP's one win was against an FCS foe. They beat UT Martin. You know, and you look at UTEP, and UTEP was a team that people were picking that had a shot in the CUSA. Why? Because Malachi Nelson's their quarterback. He was a USC 4 or 5-star recruit, depending on who you use. We thought they were going to go up tempo. Scotty Walden in his second season. Well, guess what? Malachi Nelson has completed 55%, 8 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions on the season. That's the reason UTEP can't win. UTEP has not won the turnover battle in any game. And in fact, versus FBS teams, they've lost the turnover battle in every game, and they're -7 on the year. You're not going to win many games that way. Let's look at season-to-date numbers, though. UTEP has played one of the weakest schedules. You know, they played Texas. They lost 27-10. They kept that game within reason. But their overall strength of schedule, Andy, is number 130. Remember, there's only 136 teams. You look at the Sam Houston side, they have actually played the number 62 schedule. So when I look at yards per game diff, UTEP 85, Sam Houston 133. That's yards per game offense minus the defense and their rank. So that's about where it should be. You look at where UTEP's strength of schedule is, Sam Houston's strength of schedules. The offenses, as you said, this year, 118 and 131. The scoring offenses, number 120 and number 127. Pace of play. The reason the total is so low, both offenses are bad. UTEP with a positive defense. Their defense is actually playing very well. UTEP is number 99 in plays per game run. Sam Houston, one of the slowest teams in all of the FBS. They are averaging under 60 yards per play. That is number 131 in the FBS. Neither has explosive plays. Combined, they have 100 explosive plays of 10 yards or more. That may sound a lot, but that's number 128 and number 130. So we've got a lot of ugly offensive stats. We have two very slow-paced teams. But, Andy, I am going to say this. I do lean under in this game, but as I've done with a lot of unders, I prefer first half. Why? Because we're getting a fair number with 23.5. And when you have two desperate teams looking for their first FBS win, this is the type of situation where you may try in the second half to go for it on fourth down when you're not accustomed to it, to try some trick plays. Turnovers will be a factor here. Both teams are negative turnovers. I'll hope that those turnovers are in the opponent's red zone, which you always want with an under, versus in your own red zone, backed up to your end zone, where teams can get defensive touchdowns. I lean UTEP, can't lay points on the road with them, so give me under 23 or 23 and a half for the first half.
I like that breakdown. Yeah, you got two teams that can't score. Yeah, absolutely. I like the read on that one. Let's move to Tulsa and East Carolina. It's just funny to say out loud, Tulsa's 2 wins are against Abilene Christian and Oklahoma State. It just doesn't sound right. And East Carolina, boy, with Ralph, when they win big. They're 3 wins. What is it, 122-9 combined total. So they're laying a big number, but they can do it. What's your breakdown on this game?
You know, I've been an East Carolina fan this entire season, and there's a trend, which I'll get to at the end of this, which is actually keeping me off playing East Carolina. Well, we just had 2 of the slowest tempo teams at number 99 and 131 plays per game. This is the polar opposite. These teams, East Carolina is number 2 in the country, averaging 77.2 plays per game. Tulsa, number 18 in the country, averaging 73 points per game. So both will have plenty of pace. The one thing I am very happy that Trey Lamb did. Trey Lamb is a first-year head coach. They brought back a starter from last year. He was a full-time starter under their coach last season, was Kirk Francis. But he didn't have a good camp. He came in, so he switched both quarterbacks. You have 2 quarterbacks on the Tulsa Golden Hurricanes that have each started 3 games. Well, what's the old adage? If you have 2 quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks. He's finally made the decision, and he is going to go to Baylor Haynes moving forward. Baylor Haynes, by the way, 61%. Kirk Francis, 60%. But Baylor Haynes has had a better feel for the offense. He's driven him downfield more. He has gotten more first downs than Kirk Francis has. So with a rush attack that's actually playing pretty decent at 153 yards per game and 4.1 yards per carry, I think that is the right choice for Tulsa. You look at East Carolina. They scored 19 points at Tulane. Tulane's defense is very good. Tulane runs the ball often. They scored 28 points against Army. Army runs the ball, slows down the clock. Against BYU, they had 404 yards, but only 13 points because they were minus 2 turnovers. EC's offense is legit behind Caitlin Hauser. He's averaging 8.0 yards per attempt. Not great, but he does get the ball downfield. He has 4 receivers over 300 yards. They're all averaging over 13 yards per reception. And we look at the Tulsa defense. Their numbers are okay because they played Abilene Christian and New Mexico State early. But you look at their numbers over the last 4 weeks, 440 yards per game, 25 first downs allowed. That's a massive number in those last 4 games. Tulsa making a change at quarterback stabilizes their offense. Tulsa's defense, not good. East Carolina, very misleading. Last 3 games, scoring a combined 60 points. We're actually getting value because their offense their offense has not looked as good as they should. These kind of cases with these kind of tempos, with us getting value, this total should be 62 or 63, but East Carolina's offense the last couple of weeks has kept this number lower. I'm on over, and this actually may be a client release for me. So if you see tomorrow at WagerTalk that I have a college football client release and it's a Thursday college football total, guess what? Don't buy it. You know what it is.
Ralph Michaels, everyone. Let's talk some NFL trends. Last week you did the off of a bye, and how that myth about, teams off by, the rest they cover more, and they don't. And then I told you, me and Dan did the exact same thing on Friday. We were like, well, the team's off by. Just naturally, you just say it. So we're going to do another one today. We're talking about back-to-back road games and back-to-back home games. And when you say that, you say, oh, well, back-to-back home games, surely they must have the better covering record or straight-up record, whatever. Back-to-back road games, so tough, so tough. Numbers are kind of a little different on this one. This one is surprising. So tell us what chart
Andy,
we're
I'm
going
going to say, if you and I go to the bar tonight, we go into a sports bar, people watching the football game, and we say to people, you tell me, is an ATS record better since 2019 for teams playing a second straight home game or a second straight road game? I'm going to say probably 8 or 9, maybe even all 10 would say the ATS record for the home team. And the ATS record for the home team is 50%. So not wow. And again, the away team, if we could see the chart, we will see back-to-back away teams are 51.2% against the spread. Back-to-back home teams are 50%. So while it's only a 1.2% difference, we're not telling you to not bet back-to-back home. We're not telling you to bet back-to-back away. We just have to make sure when you're handicapping this game, you don't make it a negative that a team is playing a second straight road game. Now below, if you look on the chart, you're going to see the gray numbers with the small p's. So on the top line, on the left-hand side, teams playing a second straight away. Right-hand side, teams playing a second straight home. The middle is previous win as a favorite, previous loss as a favorite, previous win as a dog, previous loss as a dog. And you see there are a couple reds and one green that do stick out. So let's look at the teams playing a second straight away game. If they lost the first game as a favorite, they've gone 37-26, 59% against the spread. There is one game that applies to this week, Andy. And who would that be?
The Philadelphia Eagles.
And you have the Eagles colors behind you just for that reason. I see why you did that. A couple negative situations. This doesn't apply to anyone, but if you're playing a second straight road and you lost the last game as a dog, you're only 46.9%. And if you're playing a second straight home and you won the first game as a dog, you're 42.1%. I will post this on Twitter at CalSportsLV if you want some more time. But 2 more things I want to mention on this. Someone had reached out to this, and I get asked this every year, a couple times a year. What happens if a team is back-to-back home versus a team back-to-back away? The team playing back-to-back home, only 46.5%. So that is more of a myth buster to me, that you would think a team that hasn't traveled versus another team. The back-to-back road team's 53.5. And if the home team is off a win, playing a back-to-back road game off a loss, the home team is only 43%, a bigger play on. There is one negative, Andy, calling you Teddy. Sorry about that. I apologize tremendously. When a team is away for a third straight, we know back-to-backs aren't bad, but when a team is on the road for a third straight game, they are only 44.3%. And if they're on the road for a third straight game and they're off an away win, they're only 37%. So no problems back-to-back road, but when you get to a third straight road, there are some negatives.
All right. Yeah, it makes all the sense. So when you're looking at this chart, guys, look at the 2 reds and the green, and just know that we've got this Philadelphia Eagles situation that's coming up. So Ralph, you've got some stuff about GoldSheet. Tell us about GoldSheet this week.
Well, we have a sale on GoldSheet today, guys. GoldSheet normally $19 a week. And if you're not sure what you're going to get with GoldSheet, take a look. This is one game that we're bringing up. And in this game, you're going to see a complete write-up. You're going to see a stat breakdown. You're going to see their averages over the last 3 games, which I love, to look how a team has performed, what their average line was, what their opponent's power rating was. And one thing I do want to point out here, if we can show the team logs for the Florida Atlantic team. The GoldSheet logs.
Let me see if I can pull that up, Ralph. The Wi-Fi went out in the office, so we're flying by the seat of our pants here, Ralph. Just start talking. I'll pull up these files.
All right. So we're going to look at the South Florida the Florida Atlantic logs. The logs are full game, first quarter, and first half. There you go. Thank you very much, Andy. This is just the logs, guys. There's so much more information. Florida Atlantic, full game, 3-3 against the spread. You see that first column. Take a look at the middle column. That is first quarter, Andy. They are not only 6-0 in the first quarter. Look at those average cover margins that they've had. First half, by the way, they're 5-1 over under. So it really does help you where if you're one that always bets full game, when you're looking at both logs above and below each other, if you have a team that's great in the first quarter against a team poor in the first quarter, or great first half, poor first half, those are the kind of extra value that you do get with the GoldSheet logs. I look at them every game. GoldSheet normally $19 a week, a write-up on every FBS game, every NFL game, logs for every team, stat profiles for every team. This week, try the GoldSheet out for only $9. The code GS10. Head to WagerTalk right on the front page in the main brick. You're going to see the GoldSheet, $19. Click on it, purchase it, use the coupon GS10, and guess what? You're getting this week's GoldSheet for $9. I had to look it up, Andy. That is 12.5 cents per game. You want to talk about value, guys? Check out this week's GoldSheet, coupon code GS10. I see Ross smiling back there. He is ready to get on this stage.
Ralph Michaels, everyone. There's your breakdown on college football trends. And don't forget to use that promo code GS10 to get your instant discount on GoldSheet. Good luck, Ralph. Let's have a great week. Shout out to everyone in the chat. A couple of comments. Andy, what happened to our cricket expert? Cricket is back this weekend. Cricket has a very, very weird schedule. So we've got some leagues that are not bettable and then some leagues that are very bettable. So we're going to actually jump into cricket here this weekend. Just talk to him. We're going to have some soccer as well. So should be a really, really good weekend. Someone asked about a player prop. I do not have any player props for the college football game. So apologize for that one. Just couldn't find any value. I mean, they got this guy, London Montgomery. He's minus 115 for an anytime touchdown score. This guy scored in one game. The touchdown props, they're fun, but there's only a couple guys that there's really any value on in any of these sports. It's fun to throw like a few of them in parlays. Like those are fun to root on. But as far as actual bankroll building, the only one that I've used over the years is Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts to score a touchdown. We cashed that for clients last weekend, but he's averaging like one rushing touchdown per game as a pro. That's the only one that I've really, really found much value in. So, all right, let's bring in Ross, the boss. And Ross, I got to tell you, you are loved, my friend, because people have been asking about you. And when I'm gone, I don't know if when I'm not on the show, I don't know if people ask about me. But you have been asked about every single week. So first off, welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. And how are you?
Thank you, Andy. Much better. And I appreciate all the viewers out there, clients that have reached out and expressed some heartwarming messages to me. You know, I thought I had a stomach bug a couple of weeks ago, Andy, and it ended up being a infection, and I had to go under emergency gallbladder infection. I had to go under emergency surgery and a 5-day stay in the hospital. So I'm good now. I'm ready to go, my friend.
Well, I'm always taking the over on Ross Benjamin coming out on the good side. So,
you know,
all right, Ross.
Between what happened in early January with the prostate cancer, now I've gone 67 years staying healthy, Andy, and this year has been just a nightmare. And if I was a used car and you bought me in January, I'd certainly qualify for you turning me in as a lemon law. But, you know, not my handicap, and there's no lemon law there.
Let's finish strong in 2025. Let's make this a winner here. All right, let's do a Major League Baseball first. We got Blue Jays and the Mariners, ALCS Game 3. Bieber was a little shaky coming into the playoffs, but last game, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 2.2 innings. Kirby was good in 2 starts versus Detroit, 10 innings, 3 earned runs. You got Seattle up 2-0, and you got Toronto as plus 108, Seattle minus 131. Very vanilla number of 7 is the over-under. I feel like that's just kind of They just just stick 7 on these playoff games and let us figure it out. How do you break down the Blue Jays and the Mariners?
Yeah, I have a money line winner in this game up for sale right now at WagerTalk, and that's wt.buzz/RB. You could find that pick there. But for now, I'm going to concentrate on a pitcher prop here, and I'm going to look at Shane Bieber's strikeout total of 4.5. Now, you had mentioned he's coming off a shaky start against the Yankees in his only postseason outing. However, against this current Blue Jays roster, they've gone 25 for 109 against Bieber. Excuse me, against his current Blue Jays roster. They've gone 25 for 109 and struck out 44 times in 109 at bats. That's 52.4% of those outs recorded came by way of strikeouts. Current Mariners roster. It's been a while. I'm a little rusty. By the way, the Mariners, they've struck out the 6th most times in all of baseball this year. And in their last 3 games, Seattle has struck out 45 times, an average of 15 times per game, Andy. Toronto is one of the best contact hitting teams in baseball. Seattle is not. They're one of the worst. So I'm going to go with Shane Bieber over a strikeout total of 4.5.
I like it. It's been pretty entertaining MLB postseason. So and I've loved these props. These pitcher props have been fantastic. We've been talking about outs. Someone in the chat says take the under on the 14.5 outs. You love the strikeouts. I feel like there's a lot of value in these player props. Let's go to an interesting college football game. UNC versus Cal. So when UNC faces a decent team, they get smoked. You just look at them. There's no close games for North Carolina. They either win big or they lose big. Here's the question. Is Cal a good team? They've lost 2 out of the last 3. If you're telling me they're good, I'm taking the -10. If you're telling me they're not good, I'm taking North Carolina outright. How do you break this game down?
Yeah, I can't consider Cal being a good team when they've committed 8 turnovers in their last 3 games. And you mentioned an interesting game. I beg to differ. I would say if you want to go to sleep early, watch this game. But the only problem with that is it starts at 10:30 p.m. Eastern time. So you're not going to miss anything by going to bed early. Let me put it this way. The Cal offense over their last 4 games, averaging just 19 points and 321.8 yards of total offense per contest. And a lot of that goes back to the committing 8 turnovers in the last 3 games, like I alluded to. Hard to sustain offensive drives when you're turning the ball over at that rate. North Carolina, over their last 4 games, have played 3-0-1 to the under with a combined average of 40.3 points scored per game. You mentioned when they step up in class, and basically, I don't know about stepping up in class, but in their 4 games against FBS teams, they're averaging 13.3 points per game and 253 yards of total offense per contest, 31.7% on 3rd downs this year. That's terrible. And they're averaging only 26 minutes in terms of time of possession and scoring only 1 point per 18.7 yards gain per. So those are horrible numbers. And it's hard to put points on the board when you're only averaging 26 minutes of total time of possession, Andy. So I'm going to go with North Carolina and Cal to go under the total of 47.5.
Can't argue with you on that one. There are some gross games this week in college football. They can't all be winners. So, all right. We love doing the hey, you would be proud of me. So while you're gone, I did this line makes no sense, and I got both of them right.
Nice.
About that. So I filled these big shoes nicely. So I love this segment. It's one of my favorites. It's Ross's time to tell us this line makes no sense. What game did you pick, and why does this line make no sense?
Well, I am thoroughly glad that you asked, Andy, because Boise State is hosting UNLV this week. And the Broncos are 4-2. UNLV is 6-0. Yeah, Boise State yesterday was minus 10.5. Now they're up to as much as 11.5 to 12.5. And when you got a 2-loss team, and they're a double-digit favorite against an undefeated team in the second half of the season, I would think most people would think they're getting a steal with the undefeated double-digit underdog. But hold on, my friends. Boise has played a much tougher schedule. Their 2 losses came at the hands of nationally ranked South Florida in their season opener on the road and at Notre Dame. So they're at home tonight against a UNLV team that struggled in their season opener against Idaho State, winning 38-31. Idaho State, by the way, is an FCS team. They won that game with a touchdown in the last minute. And then last week, with under a minute to play, they scored a touchdown to beat Air Force 51-48. The defense in those 2 games I just mentioned, they allowed 584 yards per game. Here's the thing with UNLV, which has sparked them to that 6-0 start. They're +9 in the turnover department. Boise is a +2, and Boise hasn't turned the ball over in 3 of their 6 games this season. UNLV is going to have to do more than depend on turnovers here. I just think this is a sucker play to take the undefeated double-digit underdog. Obviously, the sharp bettors agree with me because we've seen the line movement go up to as much as 2 points in this game on Boise State. So better beware in this situation, Andy.
Great segment. So be careful about laying all those points. All right, Ross, what do you have up? You mentioned, hey, my plays aren't lemons. They're lemonade. What do you have up for? What lemonade do you have up for everyone at Wager Talk?
Very creative, Andy, as always. All right, so I got a baseball play money line winner up for tonight in Major League Baseball, Game 3 of the ALCS between Seattle and Toronto. My Major League Baseball number 2 on the season just relinquished the number 1 spot yesterday, but I'm going to get it back. Nice Major League Baseball run of 103-73, 59% with a net profit of plus 76.30 units. I have an NFL winning total up for the Thursday night game. You can get that right now for $25. My college football and NFL combined on a 25-13 run, 66%. And also all sports, 156-108 since May 13th, 59% and net profit of 116.69 units. And I think that covers it all. College football, by the way, folks, it'll be a big Saturday. Once again, college football continues to roll number 1 in units earned and win percentage last season on a 15-5 run right now in college football since September 9th of 2023, going all the way back that far, 145-95, 60%, up 112 units. And since 2023 college football season started, number 1 in units earned at WagerTalk in college football. So a lot to like, a lot to take advantage of, folks. We're going to have a huge weekend coming up. Don't forget to jump on board with my Major League Baseball winner tonight. Thursday NFL up right now, and the rest of the weekend will be up within the next 48 hours.
Ross Benjamin, Ross the Boss, so glad to have you back in our lives. Take care, my friend. Let's have a big weekend. Ross Benjamin, everyone. God, it's great. God, it's great to have Ross back. So we got a few specials we're running at Wager Talk. Weekend Warrior continues to be one of the highlights of the specials that we've run. You guys have said, hey, we love this special, so we're going to keep running it. Weekend Warrior, you get all the football games for Saturday, Sunday, and even Monday. So we have big weekend of football. It's $49. Pick your handicapper that does college and NFL, and then you get all those locked in. Includes 5% releases, only $49. This was a special we were going to do one weekend only, and it was so popular, and it just keeps growing each week. So Weekend Warrior is available this week. We've also got some Flex Pick specials. If you guys like Flex Picks, we talk about these. I think we're the only company that does these, where you can buy a 7-day pass and you can pick your handicapper You get 3 days for 49, 7 days for 69. If you want to do a long term, which we always recommend, trying to do long term, get it. It's not for everybody, but if you're interested in getting picks longer days, we got discounts on 30 and 90 days. You can pick a different handicapper each day. I got a 5% UFC best bet on Saturday, so you want to use it on me on Saturday, great. Then you want to use it on Ross on Sunday, you can do that. You have all the flexibility, so we got some really good discounts on flex picks over at wagertalk.com. We're going to do all around the world. Allow me to promote my 5% UFC play. We're coming off another big win on Contender Series. It was the last Contender Series of the season. I'm sad I'm going to miss it, but what a way to go out. 3-0 run to end the season. So nice Contender Series end to the season. And this is now, these big plays in UFC and MMA have been hitting. This is 2 5% plays, 4% and a 3% that have hit. So these big plays have been the bright spot of UFC. That play is up right now. I'd jump on board this thing ASAP. I don't think the line is going to move, but the sooner you get it, I tell you it's not going to move against us. It's going to move the other direction. So 5% UFC best bet, that is up right now over at my page, wt.buzz/AL. We're really kicking ass in UFC. So let's cash this weekend. All right, Chris, let's do all around the world, give people some free plays. I'm going to go to UFC. Here's a free play. This is a kind of a steep price on a guy like Cody Gibson. Cody Gibson is not that good, and this fight isn't going to be super exciting. Orichi Lang is really bad, man. This guy is way past his prime. He gets beat up on the feet. He gets dominated on the mat. And his most recent wins are all against guys that are no longer in the UFC. These guys have been cut. Gibson, he's a competent striker and grappler, and that's really all you need to beat Orichi Lang. He's going to have enough control time on the ground to take at least a couple of rounds, unless Orichi Lang lands something crazy, which he hasn't done in a long time. I think Gibson grinds out a decision win. Orichi Lang was getting his ass kicked against Daniel Marcos and quit. He just stopped fighting. They gave him a reason to quit, and he took it. So I'm fading Orichi Lang. Panthers and Red Wing, let's do a shots on goal. Sam Reinhart over 2.5 shots on goal. He's gone over in all 4 games this season. You got to remember, they got injuries to this Florida Panthers team. There's a lot of shots on goal available, and Reinhart has been taking advantage. He's gone over in 4 out of the last 5 against the Detroit Red Wings, so you can keep riding the streak of Sam Reinhart. And this comes from the WagerTalk free picks page. Chelsea over Nottingham Forest. We like Chelsea just to win. Just win outright. Chelsea, big win against Liverpool. Meanwhile, Forest lost 2-0 at Newcastle. They were outshot 18-5 in that game. Chelsea's got better form, depth. Forest, they tend to get behind, and they just don't have the firepower to catch up. So we're going to take Chelsea to win outright. That's a free play from Ronald Kabang. We got tons of free plays that are up on the Wager Talk free picks page. So if you're looking for some more diverse plays across all sports, highly recommend going to there. Thank you to Ralph Michaels. Thank you to Ross. Thank you to Big Dog for producing today. Chris, shout out to you. Yep. Thank you guys in the chat. Please hit the like button. Leave us a comment below. Tell us what you're betting tonight. Tell us what you're betting this weekend. We got a locked and loaded couple of shows to wrap up the week. Thursday's going to be a nice show, and you guys know Football Fridays. Football Fridays, the views are insane. It was our goal to make Fridays the best football show out there, and I think we've done that. It is a loaded Friday, so make sure you're here to watch us live. If you're not, catch the replay. We're giving out tons of information. We're giving out tons of plays, props, Survivor, spreads. I went 3-2 in my mega pick contest, so we're doing well. We're keeping up. We're pretty high on that leaderboard. So thanks very much, guys. That's going to do it for us today. Good luck on all your bets. Let's have a big Wednesday. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.